You know what, I'm like a kid in a candy store at Christmas time, and my two little gingerbread friends here are gonna let me help you make an apron that you and your grandkids or your kids are gonna love making. We're gonna start off. This little gingerbread boy is made out of what we call miracle sponge. And it's a compressed sponge, and it comes in a sheet like this. And what we've done, we've drawn our gingerbread boy on here. It cuts out with just regular scissors, so we've cut out our little guy. And now here's the fun part, because this is where the miracle part comes in. We're gonna take a surface that our little guy will fit in, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna put him in some water. Okay, now watch, this is the magic. We're gonna put him down in the water. And he's swelled up to a great big sponge. Now, we have to wring all of the excess water out of this before we paint, because all of the extra water in there is gonna mix with your paint will be too runny. So after we've actually running out the sponge, I want you to pat it in paper towels to get all the excess water that we need out of there before we paint with it. Now, this sponge can be reactivated again, because when you're all done, just wash the sponge out, get all the excess paint out. It'll never go back down to its compressed state, but you can always use it again. I'm gonna take my fabric paint. This is just dimensional fabric paint, and you can also use acrylic paint. And we're gonna take a sponge brush. And what I did here is I just took my sponge, and I actually, instead of laying it down this way, because you know what's gonna happen, you don't get it completely all over the sponge. So by taking the sponge brush and putting it on there, then we know that we have a really good coat of paint on our gingerbread boy. Now, one other thing, when you're stamping through fabric, make sure that you either put some wax paper underneath it, because your paint will seep through the fabric and it'll get onto whatever is underneath it. I have one that's already painted and dried, because we want to make sure that our bottom surface paint is dry before we start putting our other paint on. We're going to use white dimensional paint, which is going to look like our icing on our cookies. How cool is that? We're going to draw directly out of the bottle. Now I want to tell you some little secrets about this. Do not shake this up. You can shake it down or you can tap it down, but you want to make sure that you've not shaken it up. We're actually going to ice our little cookie right here, and I'm just going to draw lines. So we've made our icing. How cool is that? Now, you know, if I could make cookies this easy, maybe I'd be making cookies. Now I want to show you another little trick. We're going to put our little buttons on our eyes and our candies on our gingerbread boy. These are little sponge spouncers. They come in a bunch of different sizes, and they're already the right shape that you need to make perfect circles. So again, we're going to use dimensional fabric paint, and I'm just going to put some on my palette paper, my different colors. I'm going to take my spouncer. I'm going to put it down in the paint. Before I spounce it on my apron, just practice once, okay, on your palette paper. Remember, if you have too much paint on, you can't take it off. If you don't have enough on, you can always go back over that spot. Now, because we're sponging on a dark surface and it's a light paint, you might want to go over it a couple times. And when it's dry, you could go back and you could spounce over it again. Each time that we're going to spounce a different color, the best thing to do is to rinse out your sponge. Make sure that you get all the extra water and paint out of your spouncer. And I'm going to do this real quickly so that I can show you our third color, and then we get to play with the glitter. Yay! I love glitter. Our third little polka dot. The reason that we let this bottom surface dry before we put the other things on is because if I would have glittered over that, you would have had glitter over the whole thing, and that's not necessarily what you wanted. We just want the glitter on these little polka dots and on our icing. Now, while it's wet, we're going to put clear, like a white clear glitter on it. So I'm going to sprinkle it over the polka dots, and I'm going to sprinkle it over my candy. Now, I know I'm sprinkling a whole lot on here. You want to let it dry a little bit before you shake off the glitter. If you're going to put different colored glitters on something, you have to glitter one at a time, let it dry, shake it off, and go to the next. I'm going to use my big spouncer and my colored paints again. Same thing. So we've spounced our little candies across the front, and again we want to go back with our glitter, and we're going to shake it on and leave that to dry. And if you'll notice on the apron that we made on this one, we've added just some real cute little brown rickrack, and we've just put that on with fabric glue and let it dry. We actually took ribbon and we cut off the strands. We just cut the apron pieces off, and then we just glued on some other ribbon. So look what a cute difference it made. You can pick out any kind of ribbon, but it's just a little bit different treat, and you're not just using that plain white tag. Let's look at some other ones that you could actually make for some great gifts. Have you been naughty or nice this year? I know which one mine's gonna say. This is iron-on letters that we've just put on the apron, and then we've glued some boa on it. This is the Cupcake Queen. You'll notice that the aprons come in different colors. These actually happen to be iron-ons that we've just ironed onto the apron, and then we've personalized it with also iron-on letters. And don't forget the kids, because they love to make aprons and they love to wear them. These are just sponges that are actually just like we've done on our gingerbread apron. The kids have just sponged them onto the apron. And this little snowflake one is the same thing. Actually, what we did, if you look, we took a star and we stamped it once, and then we stamped it again, and then we used that little tiny spouncer and we made the little polka dots on it. What a great apron for the kids to wear to help make cookies with Mom or Grandma. So that's our gingerbread apron. And now I want you to go home and make gingerbread boys, because mine are certainly here, and they are ready to run fast as I can. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. Please go and have fun.